Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode on the AthosCraft server. So, in the last episode, I had started on my minecart minigame. We're actually going to take a little break from that. I'm going to come back to it probably in 2 episodes, but we've been sidetracked because FireManKing was working on a minigame and has asked me to partner up with him. And it's a very large build, so I'm like, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. So the idea is we are going to make a whole bunch of casino type games, and then he wants me to build a structure around those games. So our partnership is going to consist of him making up the games and me making the design for the building. So like normal fashion, we need, you guessed it, concrete. And we're going to need a lot of concrete. Now, Fireman has the concrete store, and I have a bunch of concrete left over from other projects, like building that white section over there, and a bunch of things. I did want to surround this entire thing in concrete, but that's just a lot of concrete. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to take the concrete I have in my inventory and make a whole bunch of concrete powder. And then we can use the fastest. We can use the fastest concrete machine that exists, and this is how we do it. Just basically lay down the concrete powder into the trough. This trough's long enough to do a full stack. So there we go, got a full stack. The bottom is got sand and gravel, so a pickaxe won't do it, and then we can essentially just massively chop this down quickly. So you can see it's actually pretty darn quick to make concrete in this. So we can just go ahead and grab another thing of powder, and away we go again. So it doesn't take very long basically to make stacks of concrete. Let me just go ahead and do one more stack quickly. So the idea is you have Aqua Infinity on your helmet, and you're basically in the water, so because you're in the water you get the benefit of that, plus a haste 2 beacon that's here. So I got haste 2, Aqua Infinity, all in there together. So you can see my equipment here. I've got the I've got depth strider here, which allows me to go fast swimming, and then Aqua Infinity on here allows you to dig quicker. So yeah, basically it was about a minute of the video there, and I got 2 stacks of concrete already made up, and I'm gonna put the made concrete in the chest here. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish making the concrete that I have. So I'm gonna use up all this gravel, all this sand, and some of this white dye, and essentially go ahead and finish making up the whack of concrete that I need. Alright, so we're in Arcadia, the minigame district, and as you can see, we have laid out the floor area of the building we're going to do. So you can see it's fairly large. It's actually 2 chunks by 5 chunks, so 10 full chunks. And then this area at the front is in addition to that, and that's going to be the foyer, or the front entrance of the casino. We haven't come up with a name yet. Probably going to come up with a name during this episode, and by the end of the episode we should have a name. But Fireman's already gone ahead and started working on the redstone. You can see, I believe he's working on the slot machines, and so we're going to start working on it. So as I said before, my responsibility is the decorations. So we're going to go with the color palette of white concrete, cyan terracotta, dark oak wood for the accents, probably logs, not planks. I'm not a fan of using the planks. And then gonna make sure that we use probably a ton of glass. I want lots of open glass. Probably gonna go with black glass, I think, to contrast the white concrete. And so Fireman's already working on this, and he's making holes, and since this is all going to be visible, I need to make it look good. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up this area while he's building, and then he can finish up his redstone and we can make it look good. So I'm going to go ahead and do this area, and I'll be back when I'm at the next step. Alright, so we're going to start working on the front foyer now, and just trying to lay out and think what we're doing here. I think we're going to use white concrete and put the pillars up to sort of get what it's going to look like from the front right away. I think I want the front entrance to sort of be on the corner. Might be sort of weird, but I think that that'll work out nicely. So let's go ahead and put the corners in, and then we get an idea of how it's going to lay out. All right, so we've got the front structure almost done. Decided to go with a glass ceiling. I think what I'm going to do is see if I can put an apartment upstairs in the casino, and this would be like the lounge area. I think I'm going to do a swimming pool here. So the glass is going to be the bottom of the swimming pool, so you can actually see the swimming pool from underneath. I think that'll be cool. And I think I want to use the dark color as an accent around the pool, so that it has some oomph. So I think that'll work out. And with it on top of the glass, you'll actually see the dark border from underneath. I think that'll look pretty cool. So I'm going to keep going. Just want to show you a progress update, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, so I just finished putting the pool in. So as you can see here, it looks pretty cool. So the black with the dark border around the outside here, and from underneath, I think it looks really cool as a ceiling. I gotta figure out how to fix it so the dripping doesn't happen. I think I may have to put another layer of glass underneath. But other than that, I think it does look really cool. We'll probably have to put some more bordering on there and stuff, and I gotta figure out how to put lights in there because mobs have been spawning up there. I've killed a couple spiders and a creeper up there, and creepers and glass and concrete don't go well together. But anyways, we'll figure it out. Alright, so we've been having quite a few mobs spawning up here, as we haven't done any lighting yet, so we're going to throw in some sea lanterns just for now to hopefully stop the mobs from spawning, and then I'm going to start working on the ceiling underneath and see what that's going to look like. I'm curious. I think I'm going to try and go with a typical casino, like 1980s style casino that essentially has glass on the ceiling with the glass hanging down and such. So we're going to go ahead and use glass panes, I think. So I think I've got some in my inventory here. So we're going to go ahead and use glass panes and start putting them up on the ceiling. Ugh, I just can't reach. I'm going to have to jump. I have to jump for every single square? Man, this is going to take forever. It's got to be a faster way. Maybe we can see if we can hook onto the side of it and go from there. I don't want to have to jump for every single one of these. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put up the ceiling, and I'll be back. Alright, so we've got the glass ceiling in, so this is what it looks like. Not too bad, not too shabby. I sort of like it. It looks like that thing. So let's go to the outside here and see what the casino roof looks like, or what the front lobby is, what it looks like from out here. Oh, there you go. So it is fairly big, and what's funny is this is just the front lobby. We actually haven't started with the actual casino itself. So you can see the size of the scale it's going to be. It's probably going to be on par with Sahara or some of these larger builds that you see in other realms. But anyways, let's go ahead and see what else we can do. Alright, so Fire's pretty much done with his slot machines, and he's asked us to come over and do some decoration around it. So we do want the redstone exposed. So as you can see, I've done some glass panes around the outside there, black, to sort of shore that up. I'm going to use the cyan terracotta again inside as the accent. And I don't know whether I'm going to enclose this with a roof or not, or whether I'm just going to leave it open to the ceiling. But we do need to enclose these slot machines in little booths. Now one of the problems I've got is when we had designed them, I said let's do them in the spacing of 3. Yet he did every third, where I sort of meant 3 in between. And that way we could have separated them, but now there's an even number of 2 blocks between them, so we can't really separate them. So I'm gonna do our best, but they won't be separated, but I think it'll turn out all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and play with several different designs here and see what we come up with. As I said, I'm just sort of trial and error designing these right now, and seeing how the inside of the casino is going to start to look. So I'll work away on that. Alright, it's now the next day, and I've spent a lot of time. Actually stayed up pretty late last night and did a whole bunch of stuff. So as you can see, I'm up on the 2nd floor that I built overnight. So essentially what I did is I created a staircase here to go up. As you can see, I finished doing around the slot machines down there, and then I just went ahead and with all that white concrete that I had made earlier, I just made the walls. So I don't know what I'm going to do to decorate the walls yet, and whether there's going to be windows in them or some 3-dimensionals or whatnot, but we'll decide that in a little bit. But for now, I just went ahead and made white walls, and obviously you can see we're getting a bunch of spawns in here, so let's torch this place up before we get a creeper blowing it up. Did add the glass panes there as a railing. I'm not sure if I like those or not, but that's sort of where we are for now. We used some quartz stairs there to go down to the pool. I wanted the pool to be at a different level than the main floor, so as you can see, the main floor is a little bit above the pool, and I think that gives it sort of that dynamic aspect. And as you can see here, I enclosed the first area of the slot machine, and then I also was playing with some carpet. So I'm not sure I like the carpet here. I'll probably end up changing it, but for now we're putting the white carpet in with a gray border around the outside, and that's obviously we're going to try and minimize the amount of spawns that happen inside the casino. So carpet everywhere, lighting wherever we can, etc. So far. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I did was tried to put the big words on the front. Now I don't like the color and I don't like the words, so we're probably going to tear that down and change it. We are still coming up with a name for the casino, so as soon as we get one, we'll put it on there, and I'll probably use like a gray terracotta, which is sort of a brownie color for that. But anyway, so far so good. You can see in the front hallway there, I got some lighting. Let's go see what this looks like from the air. So as you can see, it is a huge build. So it is approximately 12 chunks. And inside here, you see we've sort of got the grand entrance with the glass ceiling and the lights hanging down. I tried to have the lanterns hang off glass, but they won't attach to glass. So unfortunately, I do have to have the wood there. So I figured if we were gonna go with something, it would have to be a very contrasting. So we went with the darkest one that we could. So we walk in here, we've got some signs laid out to what the different areas are going to be. So reception and guest services, upstairs lounge is the recreation and the offices. We haven't determined what we're going to put in this corner yet. Outside here is our sort of our shulker storage area, but down here I've done a basement, and so for quite a few of the mini games we're going to have inside the casino, there's obviously a lot of redstone and stuff that has to go with it, and so we need an area to be able to access that redstone and maintain it. So we do have the basement here of the casino. I might also go ahead and put a secret vault in there. Obviously, it might not be so secret once I put it on a YouTube video, but yeah. So it is, as you can see here, the redstone is visible, and so these are slot machines. So they're not quite finished yet, but the idea is that you can put in this one, you put some gold nuggets in it, and then you push the button, and it'll shoot some prizes at you. And it depends on what you do. So it's pretty cool. And obviously with different scales of risk versus what your rewards are going to be. Anyway, so in the meantime, we got a couple things I want to do. The first is our Discord's been going a little crazy lately because the XP farm, which is probably one of my favorite builds on the entire server, is running low on fuel and bone meal. So we're gonna go ahead and donate some of that. We have lots of both, so we're gonna go ahead and donate some fuel and some bone meal, and so we're gonna go and gather that stuff. So we have to go back to the base. Then we'll see what we got in our storage system, and if not, we might have to go over to our bamboo farm and run it a couple times and get some more bamboo. Bamboo is the best source right now. Kelp is completely broken in Bedrock right now. It grows and then it stops growing. I know they slowed it down, but the idea is that they actually slowed it down so way that they introduced a bug so that it actually stops growing, and it stops growing so much that you can't even bone meal it anymore. So yeah, they've completely broken kelp, and it's honestly, it's ultimately a good thing, and that's because kelp was one of the largest sources of lag on most servers, the underwater kelp. So they really nerfed the kelp down to stop lag on the servers. However, that also has the consequence of breaking most kelp farms. But I could live with kelp farms being broken if we have less lag on servers. So that's definitely a win in my book. Although we have to find alternative fuel sources now. The bamboo, which I believe is in this far corner down here. Yeah, so there's bamboo. So we've got shulkers and shulkers of bamboo here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shulkers of bamboo. Actually, let's go 6. I don't need the fuel on my side. Actually, let's keep 5. Let's keep 5 because I do have my furnace system going, and then we'll run down to the bone section, which I believe is just on the far side over here. Yeah, so there's the bones. So what do we got here? These are chests and chests of bones. I believe we've got a bunch of bone blocks too. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 shulkers of bone blocks. Alright, so let's make sure there's not too many mobs around here. Look at all the look at all the farm animals in here. We might have to do something about the farm animals. Wow, that's a lot of farm animals. Alright. So in the XP farm here, I see it's running away. We need to fuel donations. Any fuel but lava. Okay, so there's no making sure they're not going to drop out of here. There's no automatic feed. Okay, so we're going to donate the bamboo here. Alright, so there's 5 shulkers of bamboo donated. I'll ask them just to leave the empty shulkers here. I'll come back and get them later. And then we've got so output chest potatoes are free, bone meal isn't. Okay, so where do we donate bone meal? Up for bone meal. Down for potatoes, approximately 16 stacks per button press. Alright, so wait a minute. Where do we put our donations for bone meal? Extra cooked potatoes and fuel bone meal donations. Okay, so there we go. So let's see what we got in here. Okay, so we have the extra cooked potatoes in there. So we're going to go ahead and donate 4 chests of bone blocks.
There we go. All right. So we've done our community thing. I do have a couple pieces of equipment here that need repairing, so we're going to go ahead and use the XP farm, and we'll do it properly this time. So the idea, to correct my mistake from last time, you do not need to push the left button. You simply just push the grab the potatoes out of the furnace. So we'll grab those potatoes. There we go, and you can see the shovel's repaired, and I got about 39 levels. Push the button to help fix it afterwards. Highlight pickaxe, grab potatoes, that's repaired. Grab the axe, push the button, grab the axe, repair that, do this. 70 levels. Hopefully we'll reduce some of the lag. There's way too many farm animals here. I don't like killing horses, but we're going to anyways. There's a whole little gang. There's a horse convention over here. Look at the mobs. What the heck? Definitely need to fix this. We can't have this many mobs spawning. Yeah, I don't know what we can do. I mean, we could put half slabs down here, but half slabs don't look as good, I don't think. But that would stop the spawning. Yeah, sorry about the noise. Yeah, this is mass farm murder. Unfortunately, it is necessary, or we're gonna have lag. I wonder, as I kill these, how many more are gonna spawn? Like, is this gonna be a never-ending story of just killing mobs? Being said, my my armor is fully healed now. Anybody want a source of wool or chicken? Good source of wool or chicken. Better than a wool farm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start looking at the roof of this and trying to think about how high we want it. I think this is a pretty good height. These walls are solid right now. I just built them because it was easy and mindless, and I just went ahead and did it. But I'm gonna break and put windows and give it some 3D depth and that kind of stuff. It's not gonna be just flat like this. I just built them because it was easy to build them, and I was doing other things, watching a movie while I was doing it, so I just laid them all out, and we'll reclaim that material as we do it. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this. I'm gonna probably do it mostly off camera, just because it's mindless work. I'm gonna listen to some music or that when I do it. Maybe I'll do it in the form of a time lapse. We'll see. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and finish this. Now we bought a bunch of glass, so we can finish this glass wall. We'll probably add some columns and pillars and stuff into it so that it looks like there's something actually structurally holding it up. We're gonna go ahead and work on the front here. The front of a casino typically would have a grand walkway or grand entrance with maybe some water fountains and those kind of things, so we'll probably do something like that. We don't want to take up too much room because this is a mini game district, and other people might want to put some mini games in. So we're not going to do a lot of landscaping just because that would take up all the room for other members who might want to build mini games. But we do want to make the entrance nice. So we will probably put a fountain and a walkway around it, and maybe a small little park over in this area here, so that just landscape it up a little bit so it's nice. Back there's our chests, our overflow chests of junk that we've collected that we don't need. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that.
And that'll do it for this episode. So if you like what you saw, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to, and we will continue the casino in the next episode.